Students, good morning online. Who is joining online, Futa? Can you hear us? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes. Good morning. Very good morning.
Okay, Puta. Good morning, Puta. Thank you. Right. So we have on the recording as well. That's great. Okay. Right. So, okay, let's continue the lecture. So the online students also could hear us properly. That's very good. Okay. Right. Okay. Again, very complex. Finish very. Let's finish now. Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. Okay, I hope now the online participant can see the screen as well, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great. Okay, that's great. So we have two online students and then two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, ten. Third, physical part. But I do understand that we have the difficulties in terms of transportation, etc. But again, studies, no, we have to go first. Because the new government has come and now we expect their duty, that they do their duty. And that's what we need to do. Our duty. What our duty? Studies. Now we have celebrated, right? And it was very fascinating to see. 2/3 majority. There. Right. So, and I'm very sure that they will do the correct thing. That's what I sincerely hope and I see as well. There is great potential. All new cases, all teams and transfers out, and we have a new phase. And with great potential. And many of them are well educated. Many of them are well educated, and we'll now let's see change that will take place gradually. Of course, we cannot change everything within a day. Right? Rome was not built within a day. It takes some time. So let's allow some time and see transform into different. In fact, we are seeing that even at this moment. So gradually, we see that things are changing in to the correct direction. Right? Digital research strategy. Okay. So in chapter number 1, what did we do? What did we do in chapter number 1? We discussed about concepts. We discussed about different concepts related to people. We discussed different distinctions and concepts we discussed. We discussed about digital business related concepts first of all. What's an e-business, e-commerce, etc. We discussed. Then what did we discuss? Then we discussed about strategy. We discussed afterwards the strategy. The term is strategy and how that's linked with the digital business strategy. And also we did a case study as well. Did we? We did a case study. What's that case study? The eco case study. And my good students did very well. And so the people who took part got good marks. The people who did not take part will get no marks. Is it fair? Yes. That's how this life works. Isn't it? Can you expect results, right? Positive results by doing negative things? Now, doing negative things, can you expect positive results? No. Right. So, if you sow rice, then you will get rice. If you sow some beets, you will get beets. That is very fair. Right? That's what we call the law of causality. In this life, there's a law that if you use it properly, you can get great benefits. The law of cause and effect. Every effect has a cause. Isn't it? So if you study well, what will be the result? Effect. You get a good career. If you study well, you get a good career. You get a good life. And a lot of good things. Cause and effect. On the other hand, if you are staying at home, enjoying your life after the lecture, and if you don't come for the lectures, what will happen? One day lecture, I don't know what kind of impact that will have, but even a single day impact, like that's why the lower cost of effect says do good things, then you get good things. Cause and effect. Every cause has an effect. Positive or negative. So if you want positive events, positive results, then do good things. Automatically you get good things. So that's how strategy has said. To get the desired results, you have to execute certain strategy. Get good results in this subject, what's the strategy that you have to do? But continuously come to the lectures and engage the classroom activities, then revise the content, then automatically you get good results. People expect good results without doing their part. Can that happen? Unless they keep. But at SAB, we cannot keep. The examinations you have faced down several examinations, you can see how to pick them. But if it's online examinations, I know what happened those days. It was a disaster. It was a disaster. We even didn't know who was writing the paper. But and there was some new jobs created. Outsourcing jobs created for writing the exams for others. There's some national universities, some people got some good one problem there. Some students would, I think, I believe. So they had, even I was scared that. Word like, you don't do that kind of thing. I'm not going to tell so you can see that kind of things happen. So, but here at SAB, we take extreme precautions as well as extreme steps. Make sure that the students who are capable, who are knowledgeable, get through and get their grades. They pass the exam. So therefore, there is no shortcut at this stage. In this slide, do you have shortcuts? No. Yes, sir, we have shortcuts. If we sell drugs, we can earn millions. Great. For very short period. See what happened to drug lords like Nathan and Malu. So what happened to Malu? He earned billions. He had several estates, real estate, as well as in bank accounts, billions of money. But what happened? And he was a banker as well as he was an underworld figure, a leader, and he was operating from Dubai. But what happened later? But what happened later? What happened later? What did happen to him? Please follow. So what happened to Madhush? Here millions, billions, but people sit like a dog. People sit like a dog. So that's why there's no shortcuts in this life. The only way out is what? Fast, what's the only way out to be successful? Only education. That's the only thing. Education. Education. That's the only way. Education is the only way out. So there's no shortcuts, and the only way is getting very well educated and getting some success. For that, you need to do your part. What's your part? Attending lectures regularly, despite having elections like recently, 2 or 3 bad, this bad, and on the other hand, taking part in the continuous but activities, etc. Right. That's the way that you can do your part. Activity, and proper. Okay. Now we shall come into the chapter 2 of book 2. Book 1, I used chapter 1, which was about the basic concepts. And today I will come into chapter 2. Chapter 2 discusses the digital business environment and the other environment, and several models that you can use to analyze the environment. Remember, can you make strategies without looking at the environment? Strategy as an environment. You need to look at the internal and external environment, particularly external environment. Right? External environment, and then you can go for strategies. Unless you look at your environment and you come up with strategies, you can't. So you can see environment, we call this the ESP framework. I'll teach you later. You can take the ESP framework. Under ESP framework, what's ESP? Chapter 2, you can say chapter 2, and you can take the ESP. ESP. E stands for what? Now, this ESP framework is a very simple framework but a very effective framework. E stands for environment. This is the first step. Environmental scanning. You have to look at the environment. To come up with any strategy, first of all, you have to look at the environment. The next step is what? Strategy. Then P stands for performance measurement. So this is the ESP framework, right? You have to start with environmental scans, then strategy, then performance measurement. Now take you as an example. Why are you doing this thing? This particular accounting, and I say, because who's doing this, right? Maybe you or your parents were looking at the environment, what's taking place. They understood accounting is a very important subject, as well as they say we are of them outstands as a private university. Right? So what you answer to go to in that case, you look at the environment, you look at, okay, you need to get an accounting degree in a prominent place. Why? Because of the environmental changes that are taking place. A lot of changes are taking place. Right? And then what you are trying to do is, okay, you look at the environment and then you devise your strategy. But then you get accounting, we get accounting, we apply accounting degree from a prominent organization, from a prominent campus. Then Now afterwards, what you have? You have to measure your progress, performance. How can you measure your performance? Each year we have what? In your each year we have an exam, and we award you grades. Can you measure your performance? Yes. You can see what you are doing. So you looked at the environment, you decided to do it, that's the strategy. And then you have to measure yourself. Now, that's an outcome measure. Grades are an outcome measure. Finally, getting the degree is an outcome. But then there are process objectives, process measures as well, process related measures. What are process related measures? So, do you get the outcome just by seeing it? No. There are process related measures. So, for an example, attending lectures. What's that? Now, per month, your target is, your objective is to attend at least 8 lectures, let's say, for an example. So, you have to measure that. And you have to see every month how many lectures we attend. That's what? A process related measure. So, let's say you are now going to study at least for 2 hours per day. That's a process related measure. So each day you will count the number of hours you study. What's that? A process related measure. The process is learning. So likewise, there are outcome based measures as well as process related measures. We have to balance both. Can you just look at the outcome? No. If you have the process properly, the outcome will naturally be okay. People don't do the process and expect a different outcome. Would it work? No. Some things don't work. Outcomes to lead to what? The processes to lead to better outcome. So that's why we call systems. Systems will make sure that you follow the process properly. That's why we expect a system change. And now we have system change indeed. A massive system change has taken. And you can see how you could change things. Earlier, this same government got only, what's the percentage these people got sometimes back? Only 3%. And people were insulting them like 3% people. 3 leaders, 3%. But today, see, they are more than 70%. Why? Did it occur overnight? Did it occur overnight? They follow the process. They follow the process that led to this outcome. That's that. And that strategy was very elaborate. Right? Very elaborate because coming from hard work. Those coming from hard work. And that they are fine. Likewise, in this life, if you want to get good results, you have to pay for the what? Price of doing things, even if you don't like to do things. Now, coming to this question, why have been a very difficult thing? But still you are here. Still you are here. There. So that's a process-based measure. Attending lectures regular. Therefore, that's what you have to think of. And not just the outcome, don't fixate on the outcome. Fixate about the process as well. You can manage the process and then the outcome will be usually positive. 100%. So that's what the E stands for. Environment scanning, S stands for study, P stands for performance measurement. So you can see the ESP right. The ESP right. So in this chapter number 2, we are going to focus on what? The E. E is what? Environmental scanning. When it comes to environment, so that's what it says, opportunity analysis. You can see opportunities by looking at the environment. Right? You can see the opportunities by looking at the environment. When it comes to the environment, we have different kinds of environments. The macro and the micro environment we can see. Environment, when you are looking at the environment, there are 2 kinds of environment. The micro environment and the macro environment. This diagram, you can draw the picture, right? It will be a so what's the micro environment? Let's first start with micro before we go to macro. What's the micro environment? Micro environment is the immediate environment to the organism. Micro environment is the immediate environment. Immediate. Micro environment is the immediate environment to the organism. What are the elements? Immediate. What are the elements? What are the elements of micro environment? They are past elements. Suppliers, customers, suppliers, and then intermediaries in this environment. Micro environment, you have suppliers, customers, and intermediaries. So let me show. Yeah, these are guys. Suppliers, customers, those parties are there. Micro environment, the immediate environment of the organization, suppliers, customers, and intermediaries. So these are the people, these are the parties who are involved. The micro. Now, if you take essay, can you tell what are the parties of the micro environment? Are you part of the micro environment? Yes. Although I don't want to call you customers, you are good students. You are part of the micro environment. Are we part of the micro environment? Visiting lecturers? Yes, visiting professors. We are part of micro. The intermediaries who are supplying intermediaries, yes. Right? The people who supply now even the environmental services and the management services over here, right? Like sanitation services, Avance is there. That's an intermediate. We get their service. Likewise, those are intermediates. And there might be people who are doing marketing and other things for us. Of course, they are marketing, very capable marketing manager. Likewise, then these are intermediates. And manufacturing organization. Now we have manufacturers, and in between the manufacturer and the customer, there are intermediates. Who are the intermediates? The wholesalers and retailers. Here, education industry, we don't have wholesalers and retailers, but they are to be wholesalers and retailers. They are intermediates. So we have to understand the environment. Who are customers, who are suppliers, who are intermediates, we have to understand. Without understanding, can we conduct a successful business? We can't. Without analyzing our customers, can we do a good business? We can't. Without analyzing our suppliers, and if you are reliant on one customer, can you? Is that okay? Very fine. But but usually of course, competitors. Very good. Why not competitors? You have another one. But I understand. Competitors. This telling to add another element, competitor. What do you think? Indeed. Very important. What is that competitors? At first, very good. Very good. Competitors. Why not? A very important element. For SAP, who are the competitors? Yeah, there are it. Taking now, or taking now. Energy is now. I said we have several companies. But again, I don't see that we have competition as it is because why? We are providing a unique thing. If you are providing a unique product, we have a direct competition. No. If you are providing a unique product, there is no direct competition. If you are providing a common product, then of course there is direct competition. We do have competition, but it's not there. Just a very good addition. Customers, competitors, suppliers, and individuals. So those are parties of the micro environment. Micro environment, right? Then now let's see the macro environment. What's the macro environment? The large environment. And we are going to use a framework for that. What's the framework we use to see the macro environment? Already have studied that in economics, so maybe in other fields of study, other subjects. What's that? What? Physical factors. What are physical factors? These are the political, legal, environment, economic, likewise, these are the factors, technological, political factors. So that's what we are in fact talking about that. So you can see physical factors. Physical factors are used to macro environment. Physical factors or macro environmental factors. Macro environmental factors. Then micro, we can use some SWOT analysis, particularly SW, strength and weakness. So these are different frameworks, and also we can use Porter's 5 forces model. Now understand what we use for, why do we use the Porter's 5 forces model? What kind of insights can we get out of Porter's 5 forces? Any of Porter's 5 forces model later? Porter can know who is Porter? Michael Porter is a Harvard professor. And he came up with several good models and concepts that could be used to analyze what? Then Porter's generic strategies, Porter's diagram, Porter's 5 forces, Porter's value chain analysis. Porter came up with several models. And one of the very prominent models is 5 forces model. What is it? 5 forces model. It checks the industry competitiveness. Competitiveness is the industry company. We'll apply that today in SAP. I take SAP as an example. Right. Now I'm going to do a small exercise. Right? You can discuss. Use the physical factors and analyze the environment of SAP. Can use that for that. Problem. Right. Analyze the environment. Of course, we can analyze the environment, analyze the macro environment, analyze the macro environment, analyze the macro environment, analyze the macro environment of that using the tester frame. Using the tester frame. Analyze the macro environment of SAP using the pestle analysis framework. Macro environment of SAP using pestle. Now go to ChatGPT and do the same question. Online within the School of Accounting and Business of CA Srilanka. Never get to know what of that. Now the one of triggered nice analysis of Western factor. Modern surgery. Good. So, results all are here. Uncut interest area or actually. What's that? Good chicken, sir. They are discussing about the environment. Micro and macro. Use ChatGPT, right? And see what's the answer that you are going to get. You will be fascinated by the answer they get. Then I will ask you, in terms of political environment, how SCP is being impacted? And after buying by it, you will leave policy because of the falling or down. But you will leave body whether they would stop private education. Would they do that? I don't think they will do it. They can't do it. But their own children are studying in private universities. I don't see why it's wrong. I'm going to ask each of you, what are the political related factors that impact this activity? Can you figure out the answer? I mean, I thought what it was. I can go discuss with your friends. That's right. Something about I'm getting that the price and also your phone it doesn't let you it's so that's learning good. That you can do but when you only the skill, let's figure out the thing. Well, the attitude. It doesn't want to again. When you only the skill, yes, so. Follow that. Morning.
How are you today?
Doing fine. Hey, can you tell me, can you analyze School of Accounting and Business of BSAA Lanka? Very much, factor one using the pestle factors?
Sure, let's break it down using the PESTLE framework, which stands for political, economic, social, technological, and environmental factors. Political. Sri Lanka's political environment, including government stability and policies, impacts education. Any changes in education.
This is technology. It's the AI assistant of ChatGPT. And you can speak with her anything, she is non-judgmental, and that's it. And you have to transcript the day. Computer transcript the feedback of technological environment. So use technology for education. That's what you are going to get small. Technology. That's transformative. That's transformative. It makes a huge difference in your life. Technology. Okay. Now, I think we have used this. Using special factors, or you can analyze the SATs macro environment. Chalga. Vertical line east and political. One of the factors the certificate about what kind of factors are. Usually, government change will be impact, the political standpoint will be changing. Suppose the government who came for against private education, it would have negative impact, which will never happen, right? And of course, this government also, any sensible government should understand all should have the right for education, right? Right, but it's so the government changes would impact, but this is political. Tax policies might impact, of course. Now there was a tax imposed under earlier regime. But education says they charge back. That can work. Make it. Then once this government came, immediately what they did? Remove taxes. Remove that education tax. It was a great relief for the future. Okay. The government ideally changed it, and of course IMF dictated it, but again the government changed it immediately once they came into power. Cabinet factor for a tax kind. So that was a good thing. Very good. That's what are other policies? Yes, government policies on education can be positive, negative, particularly on private education. Right? So fortunately, all governments have sensible policies that are positive for private schools. Yes, those are political environment. Then each has what? Can be economic, it can be let's say economic. Let's take economic. Like let's ask cost of living, the cost of living is very high, inflation very high, that will not be so good for fun. Because people's disposable income is quite low. And the students might not be, the parents might not be able to afford. That's cost of living, inflation. Those factors do matter. Students, economy. Unemployment is there's great unemployment, then people might not be parents might not be able to afford it. Unemployment has exchange rate, indeed, the exchange rates are going up and down, particularly our foreign students will be factor. So these kind of factors, inflation, the foreign exchange rate, and the unemployment rate, etc., would be effective greatly in this area. Good. Total. Can you tell total? Demographics are changing. If the population, the younger population is getting bigger and bigger, that's a good sign to say, right? They have plus. So then the social demographics, the income level is what? That's also countries. How so ultimately, of course, there might be certain cultural changes that happen. Can you relate that to that? Over the sampling and cultural changes because you can ask. You can ask now, go to ChatGPT and ask it. Can you explain how cultural change impacts it? So that's how you can use ChatGPT as a learning tool. First, you have to think about it. You can ask it. You have to think. So that's why I'm saying ChatGPT, if you use it properly, you can use it as a great learning tool. ChatGPT can have a popular thing. We have to go there. We should have clearly done the but we have to use it very carefully. Isn't it? On the selling part, we have to use it very carefully. Right. Right. What are the other social factors? What are the non-social factors? All right. Huh? Work-life balance, of course. You know, many such students are. Right? I will come on to it. You know, like some is the figure. So work-life balance. If you have much work, then can expand. Or not. Okay. Very good. Work-life balance. Actually, yes. So, the social factor might be, it's an aspiration of the people like you. Right? It is, can we do it? What kind of aspiration do you have? If you have great aspirations to get into what much higher and higher functional and academic heights, then in that case, where you got the people might think about getting anything. Right. So that's the case. Then see technology. Technology. You get the integration of technology and field. Now we are using what? The learning time scale. It's a matter in 2013-14, we started set. I could still remember we did not have these buildings because at Srilanka in a tiny hall we have to make lectures. And at that time, at the beginning, I bring a large stack of papers. What are those? Tubes. You stick of course again. Thousand in the Junet Mughal Garanti. So Junet party does this, he prints all. Right? Copies is stuck with the saying a partner actions. They put it here. Because I'm not going to target a very you are dispersing materials at that time. Or materials there, we give the tutorials to the student. But now, you can do so. We make them available online. How? LMS. Very, very consistent. And sometimes we do lectures also online. And of course, even at this moment, not sometimes, even at this moment, some students are joining online. Is it? Some students are joining online. Right. So we are using technology, those are things. But my belief is that we can use it more. My belief is we can use it more. Isn't it? Not use current but we are using that to a certain extent. So we are using kind of a hybrid system. It's a hybrid system. But on the other hand, in the future, what I can see is complete, but online courses are limited. That will offer complete online work. But first, probably, it's a current problem. Website there. Website. So, then we said, after we get the website, after we get the website is what? For yeah, you can get that. So I was again asking every time the board meeting, and I'm a member. And one of the questions that I'm asking for, where is the website? So they answer something within 1 or 2 months, it's going to happen because the contract has been given to give up that website. So likewise, you can see digital elements are coming. Technological transformations are taking place. Even I'm asking use AI at the class. What's the AI that you are using? Generative? That's it. Not only that, there are other transformative tools as well. And I'm using at my personal life to get involved. You saw this, right? When you were at the house of the given, so sometimes you have to talk, okay, thank you, and then we see some. So likewise, there are different ways that you can use AI. That's the technological environment. Very good. Another thing that we have thought technological environment. technological environment, IT infrastructure is a critical thing. That is IT infrastructure, and we have quite infrastructure at the same. Right, internet connection speed is quite good, and connectivity is quite good. Right. So that's a technological environment. Then what? Then L. L stands for what? L stands for what? The legal lens. The legal environment again. Education regulation, yes. These are regulated environments, right? We have non-state regulators, there is non-state university class at university who is regulating it. How they are going to review as such at least 5 years time they have to review. And they use the license review. So the authority to do is private clinic, but they ask for certificate. Regulations are there. Early it was sometimes they are because they are because you cannot establish private practice. But corporately it was changed. So people could learn, they should study. Right. People always should take the chance to study and let the market decide the quality. Is it? Finally, all university students, all graduates will be going to the same job market and let the market decide who is good for which time. The market is up. So that's why we are taking maximum step to what? Your quality education. But then only the market will recognize but the trends. Not market discounts it, that's not good. So it's the legal environment. Yes, government regulations on private education. What else? Legal environment. What else? You give a very good one. Then we are going to student rights are there, student rights responsibilities. We can take into account. Right and regulations. Human rights, of course, as well as other bylaws are there. Rules and regulations are there. Then E stands for facility. You got environmental or ecological environment and ecological. We are sustainability initiatives are taking place, although even non-printing of materials. And what in 2013-14, I was given a stack of papers which were printed, but what happens after the lecture? We throw all. Students are a day like today will have a great amount of waste. So we stopped that we are not taking. Like that, we have taken several practices to stop waste. Environmental friendly practices are there. And even this building is constructed in that manner. Environmental friendly. Green practices default. Good point. Now, environmental not that much practice because we are not that much having an impact on the blueprint of economy, the environment. Yes, we are making, of course, we are teaching about sustainability, except that itself is a factor that we have factored in that aspect into our curriculum. So, like that, we are taking that into consideration. So, without sustainability and SDGs, what are SDGs? What is it? It's not SDGs, it's SDGs. It is the rest of the find out is the development goals of UN. UN is the sustainable development goals. We try to align ourselves with the sustainability development goals. Right? And they say we take it very serious. And if you are not serious, then that's going to happen. That's going to play a major negative impact. It will have a negative impact on any business end, as you very well know. Sustainability is key. So there are global trends. Because I found out these are the global trends like sustainability, governance, ethics, and of course AI and data. Those are the future trends that I can see. Out of that, I will put number one, artificial intelligence and data, which will help all others, and even sustainability. It can help in sustainability initiatives. How in an organization you can use AI for sustainability? Report. You can prepare reports using AI for sustainability. So therefore, what I see is AI and data analytics is supportive function, an important supporting function to carry on the business problem. So that's a transformative thing. Of course, that comes under technology aspect. So you can see, we took a simple example of cell, and we have applied crystal factors. And at the exam, you might get the exact same question. Then, path purification theorem, I could still remember, apply crystal factor analysis into cell. Because why? It's very close to our hearts. It's very close to our something about the people there. Oh, we let God in the right. Then, now I think it's very familiar to you what's analysis, what's specialty and special factors, right? So that special factors capture what environment? The macro environment, right? Or the environmental scanning, you can do the micro and macro. Micro environment are the elements are the customers, suppliers, then intermediaries, as well as all the around there. Very important term details. All those are micro factors. Micro factors that are impacting an organism. Then also macro factors are there which have a greater impact. Now let's say for example, the political environment instability was posing massive difficulties. Why? That had to face massive issues. Why? Political instability, but now quite stable. Why is that? People were leaving, all the students were leaving China. Massive exodus. They were going to Australia and places like that. Because Australia better than over there. Right. Now it's very difficult to get into Australia. Now, even in certain universities, can you directly apply to the certain universities? You can't. You have to go to what? Agents. Agent के apply early it was direct application to the faculty of graduate studies of archives and division, initial centers, right up to university. But now you have to go through agents, and they are cut off the quota as well. Right? So many students. But if we have facilities here, I don't know what's the reason, but we need to run that. And if you don't know what happens, and if you don't know really where you are doing, what you are doing, that will cause massive problems as well. I know one of my colleagues who was a bank manager. A bank manager. The branch bank manager. It's a good position. Bank manager yes. Position. Lucrative position. But then this person saw that people are going away from the start. It's going to be the disaster and it's all over. And so what he needed to do he saw there's an opportunity at UK. Right? Opportunity. That's the difference. There's an opportunity. And he went to UK thinking that opportunity will materialize. The opportunity will materialize, which is happening in two nice states. What happened? The opportunity did not materialize. And then he had a massive difficulty because it was late at that time. Even he could not pay for the heating. AC only heat current. Well, winter car is heater. So the winter period was very cold and it was extremely cold and people were doing and family got the leave, but then wife would think or dog would think and it was a disaster. He had to do 2 or 3 jobs to cover that cost. But what went wrong? What was the strategic error? Several errors. One, don't follow the herd. Herd mentality. Right? The herd mentality of me have to get a pattern, whether you have to do that. Yes, do not. Right? That's called the herd mentality. The herd mentality, what happens is, when the buffaloes are going in a certain direction, the other buffalo is also trying to go in the same direction. Would it work? So no. That's the first step. You have to avoid the herd mentality. Number 2. First, the other thing that person test the waters. Now he took his entire family, he sold everything in Sri Lanka. He had a nice house in Galle, right? And of course, a vehicle, a car, everything he sold, and he did not test the waters. He took all his family there. First, he should have gone. Test the waters, and then, if it is okay, then only take his family over. Right? So, like I several strategy tests. Now he is son. The end of the marriage. He was a bad man. Michael. Now suffering there without making progress. So therefore, always look at the long term. I also was told by my other colleagues, a lot of university lecturers left this country. Right? But I was told, okay, why not? I also go to some other country. Even at this moment, I have an opportunity to go to Japan and stay there forever. But I don't know. I don't think. What I believe is this country will get over. Sri Lanka never fell down. Is it? So that was fine. That doesn't mean that you should go out and get the experience. You should, all of our graduates should go out, we make global graduates. But on the other hand, test the waters before you do this. Confirm the opportunity. Then go first. And once it's okay, then bring your family, sell your assets and other things in Sri Lanka, and maybe you can buy it. Now that's a massive disaster. Children don't have education. They don't have even money to eat. And these are people who have a very good lifestyle. That would be extremely hard. Yes, social pressure might take place and people might take foolish decisions. Herd mentality should be avoided. Herd mentality should be avoided. Right. So now let's come into the macro factors. In the macro environment, particularly, analysis for SWOT analysis could be performed. What stands for? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and strengths. What's the difference between these two sets? Strengths, weaknesses. That's one set. Opportunities and threats. That's the other set. What's the difference? Strengths, weaknesses are internal. Opportunities and threats are external. Why don't you take them? Strengths, weaknesses are internal. That's why I do a small line in between SWOT. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths, weaknesses. These are internal. Right. Now take 5 minutes and do a SWOT analysis for cell. Again, go to PPT. And then perform a SWOT analysis for cell. So before you strategize, before you make any strategy, this is the first step I'm talking. You have to what? Environmental scan. Look at the macro factors, look at the micro factors. Take 5 minutes and tell me. Macro factors and micro factors. Here you go. Thank you. Okay. Either you don't want, we'll have the internal option in mix and actually the base quite give the proper one. This is all of it. Yes, that is tomato. Okay, but now write down the answer because these answers will be really important when it comes to exam. For the exam, for the usual content, so write down the point four. Only one and find what are the answers. Now, what are the strengths of strength? What are the weaknesses of strength? What are the opportunities and what are the threats? Follow them. And because to understand a digital business, you have to do these analysis. How can you come up with a standard? You start with the ESP frame, environment scanning, then S strategy, and then P performance question. Then I'm not going to that. Okay. We'll ask you. What are the strengths of that? Tell anything. So they are great strength. What's the strength? Srilanka is the mother body, isn't it? Mother body, and the other is EU. That's the material strength. What another? Location. We are in a strategic location. Right, Malaysia Mount is our main location, and now we have the city location, city location. Right. So location advantage is there. We are in a strategic location. Very nice. Then we have learned what the expert faculty is. You can say the lecturers are experts in the field, right? So we take proper people for the as visiting lecturers, as well as internal lecturers, proper faculty is the experts are there. So a third strength, what would say? Of course, and I think that it is not here in our regulation. But then if I go, then it is splendid. Yeah, a very funny thing. Actually, very powerful still to figure out. Right, we see the spirit experience. If something learn. Okay. So let's see what are the weaknesses. There was a weakness. As they and we find the most of the impact, but still it's different. That's the reason. It is. We are involved. Yes. We are not have to say that everything would be taken and explained as to the part of the okay. We will take on. So we have there's not any have some considerance or this communications. But now I think after the achievement and right. So those are some weaknesses that you can see. Then now let's see the opportunities. Good. What are the opportunities? That's right. You can even tell them to be using post and cheat podcasts. Yes, we have a global risk. Because of the technology, we can now move into the global risk. We started in, outside Srilanka, we started in Srilanka. Srilanka and really, Bangladesh, all the different, still they are against 40. That's a global. Then now we are trying to do what? Because even at this moment, some students are learning from global risk. Very good point. Another thing. Yes, we can get this part of this global unity like connect, DE, and the people like the DE, they are going to have the partnership, they have a partnership that gets yes, I demand for accounting credits. Right, for accounting, you have a high demand. That's how the fee. Right, now let's see the threats. Yes, there's actually opportunity because you can see from different partners, national, international, as well as from different other universities, we have a great opportunity that are coming. I know how people see how it's on the list of how people see political solutions that it's something. I told you, it's a is it a substitute? No, it's not. A provisional degree as well as a provisional qualification and a degree program is something. That's why we offer one. Once you complete this degree, you are in offer but exemption for people. Right. Another opportunity. Digital learning opportunities are there, of course. Even we can use ChatGPT for the important as well as we can use other platforms for learning and meeting your. Right. What's that opportunity? Let's say yes. Yes, we have corporate partners. Why? We have all the support from corporates. Why? Because of the we have already great ties because of our internship arrangements. And we can leverage that as an opportunity for our students and our graduates. So you can see these are the opportunities. And we have the threats as well. First threat. Yes, global economic condition is also not good because of the war taking place. And also, a funny thing happened in America, what's that? Lanka, Neelu CC woman. Trump, then I will cards. Right? Americans are really crazy guys. Trump is a madman. By definition, Trump is a madman. Why? Why Trump is a madman? When COVID was rampant and hundreds and 100,000 people were dying in America, Trump gave a solution for that. What's that? America. People were dying. 100,000 people were dying per day, per month. Then Donald Trump was the president and he gave a solution. What's that? Something okay. You know what I solution if I had come to Mars and bigger incidents here, I ask you, you should be different. So what did Donald Trump say? Now, if you have COVID, there's a better solution. Spring, current center, leash. You will be killed if you did it. When does it give you over this matter? Yeah, what he told us, the and when it's coming that this man is mad, Then immediately state is and I was just joking. Nice joke, isn't it? With people, Americans would do that test. Americans are very intelligent. We take what. So likewise, these things do take place. So you can see, before you devise any strategy, you need to look at what is, and then finally, after the break, we look at the portals fibers. And how you can again apply that to set. Right? Now I think you know the difference between pestle factors as well as the macro factors, those are macro factors. Then we have micro factors like spot analysis. And later on, I'll speak to something called the Tow's analysis. Not today. Tow's analysis. TOWS analysis. Where you are going to use minimax, max, like a different other strategies where you are going to use your strengths to gain opportunity. So that's why I'll speak to you later. But after the break, I'll teach you how could you use what? Porter's 5% model to analyze the 5%. And let's see to apply 5% model to set of CSV. What are the bargaining power of suppliers? Bargaining power of customers? Set of substitutes, set of new industry, new entrants, and also industry controls. So we'll be looking at that. So I think I can take a small break now. Break back away. So break back up. So let's get for a 20-minute break. And now it's 9:30 at 9:35 in fact. 9:50. A. Please go at 9:15. That's no break.
Good morning, oh, good lecturing. City, on the body break. Yeah. Oh. Thì cái remote đến những lần hoặc những gì đó cái nền thì cũng sẽ có cái đòn thì cái tổng nén của đòn cái đòn đấy mình sẽ ít thôi thì sẽ mất cái cần này mình đi những cái không mình Then they second thing to discuss He's taking the responsibility of charge. Oh. Okay. Oh, ඒක ඉතින් අපේ ජනපසගෙන් හරියට මාර්ස් දෙක මොකද කමෙන්ට් එක මොකද්ද කියලා. එහෙමනම් දැක්කේ ඒක තමයි. හැබැයි ඒක අකෝඩින් ගෲප් එක දාපු එකනේ. එයා දැන් කිව්වෙම ඔක්කොම ඇඩ්‍රස් කරලා එව්වයි කියලා. ඕන්නම් මිස්ටර් ඒකේ දැන් මිස්කලන් ගැටලුව තියෙන්නේ අපිට ලලිතා මිස්ටර් ඕකේ යවලා එයාට විතර යවලා කන්ෆර්ම් කරගන්න පුළුවන් මිස් මෙන්න මේක තමයි ඒ ෆයිනල් එක අපි දාන්නේ කියලා දැම්මම කමක් නැහැ. එහෙම කරනවා නම් මිස් මම හිතන්නේ දැන් මම හිතන්නේ ඊට පස්සේ දාලා කොහොම ඒ ලලිතා මිස්ම ඊට පස්සේ ඔව් මට මිස් බය දෙන්න දැන් අතන මිස් අපි ගොඩක් පස්සෙන් ඉන්නේ. මොකද දැන් අපි දැන් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් කෝඩිනේටර් කෙනෙකුත් එක්කද මිස් මොකද අපිට තාම ඇඩ්වර්ටයිස් කරගන්න විදියක් නැහැ මේක හරියට ෆයිනලයිස් වෙන්න. ඒ මිස් අපිට දැන් ඔව් 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 එහෙම any other discipline කියන එක මිස් ඒ කියන්නේ අපි any other discipline නම් අපි ඉන්නනවා experience එක. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අන්න දෙවෙනි එක ඔව් දෙවෙනි එක ඔව් 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 ඒක තමයි මිස් මම කියන්නේ ඔතන මිස් ඉස්සරහට දාන්න
Thank you for the idea.
හිතන්නේ ජයලලිත මොහොතේ එහෙනම් ඉස්සරට මෙහෙම වැඩක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. එන්නම් තාම ඉගෙන හිතුවේ. ඒ තමයි මේ ඔව් මට කරා. එයා ඒක තමයි මට කරලා තියෙන්නේ. අනිත් එක ඊමේල් එකක් දාලා PCPS එකට. මම හැබැයි දැක්කේ අපි මේ සොෆ්ට් දාන්න කමක් නැහැ. දාලා ඊට පස්සේ මම ඉතින් මේක කොහොමද කෙලවරේද කියන එක ඉතින් මම දැන් ඊට පස්සේ ඉතින් ඒක තමයි පස්සේ ඉතින් මේ මිනිස්සු කියලා ස්නේම්ස් බලන්නේ ඉතින් දැන් ෆුල් මිසාර කියපුලියක් හැදිලා නැහැ ඒක තමයි ඒක පුලිස් වලට සෝරේ බලන්නේ දැන් මේක දාන්න වෙන්නේ මේ ડોකියුමන්ට් එක මොකද දැන් මෙම්බර් කියන එකයි ඉන්ස්ට්‍රක්ටර් කියන එකයි දෙකක් වෙනවා එතන මිස්කිව ඕකේ මෙන්න මේ දැන් ඒ සාධාරණ ගමන සාධාරණ පහදගෙන ගන්න බැරි වෙනවා ඒක නිසා හොඳම දේ මට වෙන්නේ දැන් කොහොමද ස්ටාර්ට් කරන්නේ ඊට පස්සේ ක්‍රිටිකල් ඉෂුස් තමයි තියෙනවා විසඳ ගන්න ඉන්නේ. හැබැයි ඉතින් මිස්කින් මොන හරි දෙයක් හරියට රිෆ්ලෙක්ට් කරලා නැත්නම් ඉතින් ඒකට ඉතින් ජනක්ස උත්තර දෙන්න වෙනවා. මොකද සාපේක්ෂව දැන් අපි දැන් ඕක බලන්න නෑ සාහිත්‍ය නේ මට පේන විදිහට ඉතින් හරියට ගොඩක් පියතිරේක තිබුණා ඒ පියතිරේක ඩිපාර්ට්මන්ට් එකේ ඉෂුස් ලාලිතන්ස්ට දැන් යවලා දැන් විතරක් ඉස්මෙන මේක නෑ ඒකට මාට විලාස් ඒකට කරන්න ඒකට සේන පොට්ටක් කන්ටැක්ට් කරලා ගන්න වෙනවා යන අපි දුවේ ඉස්සෙල්ලා මොන නැක්කස ප්ලෑන් එකක් කියලා මේ දවසේ බලන්න මේ මන්දා විතරේ දවස් මිනිහා බෙදාරගෙන මිනිහා මේක completely final එක. ඉතින් මිස් මනස මට තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ ඉස්සරනවා නෑ මිස් ඔක ගිහින් ඕම් ගිහින් ඕම් කෙලෙච්ච. ඔක දන්නවද දැන් ඊට ඒකට හේතුව දැන් මේක කරන්න බෑ ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට විශ්වාසයක් මනසේක වචනේ විශ්වාසයක් යන්න බෑ. එතකොට අපි දැන් යාගෙන් කන්ෆර්මේෂන් ගන්නවා. ඕන්නම් මිස් ජනක සර්ට කියනවා මේ වන්නා පේපර් කවන්න ගොබා ඊමේල් එක. ජනක සර්ට මේක ෆයිනල් එක නෙවෙයිද කියලා නැත්නම් ආලා කියන්නේ මේක සර් ෆයිනල් එක නේද මේකට රිසර්ව් කමෙන්ට්ස් උනානේ යාකින් දාලා අන්න යා ඒක තමයි බැක් කිව්වේ සර් දාන එක නෙවෙයි වෙනස් අපි අඩ්වාන්ස් එක PCPS එක කරපේක අපි දානවා මේ සෙනෙට් එක සෙනෙට් එකට දාලා තියෙන්නේ දැන් ඒක අපිට කරන්න ඒ දානවා කියන අදහසෙන් ඉන්නවා මොකද දාලා කියලා ඒක දැන් සර් හරි නේද පාතේ ඔව් එයා කන්ෆියුස් වෙන්නේ විශේෂ. දැන් එයා ඒක කන්ෆියුස් වෙන්නේ. මොකද මේ ඉන්නේ කියලා. ටීම්ස් වල දැන්වත් කන්ෆියුස් ඒ කියන්නේ මෙහෙමයි. මේක ගත්තේමයි. එතකොට දැන් මිනිස්සුගේ ලක්ෂණ ආයෙත් අවන්න ඕනේ මෙහෙම. ඉන්සර්ට් සෙන් ඉන්සර්ට් එක තමයි. ඉන්සර්ට් එකට කෝල් එකකින් කතා කරලා අහන්න කියන්නේ මේක දැන් සෙනෙට් දාලා තියෙන්නේ සෙල්වි තකන්නේ මේක දාලා තියෙන්නේ මේක ෆයිනල් version එක නේද කියලා නවතන්න පුළුවන් option. ඔව් පොඩි උස්ස දාලා තියෙන්නේ ඒක නෑ මොනවද කියන්නේ යා ෆයිනල් කියලා සෙනෙට් එකට ඉන්ක්ලූඩ් තියෙනවා. ඔතකොට කතාවක් මේ පිට එන ෆයිනල් එක උඩ ස්ලයිඩ් තමයි වෙන්නේ ෆයිනල් එකේ එයා ෆයිනල් කියලා කන්ෆර්ම් කරලා ඉවරයි. අතන කිසිම එකට දෙන්න තියෙන එකම දේ. ඒ තමයි ෆයිනල් එක තවසෝ කන්ෆර්ම් කරගන්න ඕන. මේව කරන්න දීසව කතා කරන්නේ දැන් මම ප්‍රසන් කරන්න දැන් මේක මේ දැන් මේ කොහොම හරි නේද? කොහොමද ලර්ජන්ස් කියන මම එක ඇඩ්‍රස් අනේ වගේ ඉන්ෆෝමල් කතාවක් තමයි කියන්නේ. ආයිත් ෆයිනල් එකක් කියවන්නේ ඒ මොනස සම්පූර්ණ කරනවා. එහෙනම් ෆයිනල් එකද කියන්නේ. ෆයිනල් එකද? අනිවාර්ය ආන්සර් කරොත් නම් මේක ආයෙත් මේ සෝක මිස් අපිට ඉන්ඩයිස් කරගන්න ඒ අපේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම්ස් ටික අන්තිමට මේ අපිට ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් කරගන්න. ඒක දෙකේ ෆී පස්සේ පාලිසි ෆ්‍රේම්වර්ක් එක අපිට ඇඩ්වර්ටයිස් කරන්න දෙන්නම් කියලා. ආවේ කැලි තුනේ මේ වැඩේ තියෙන්නේ ඉන්දියක් නැහැ. දැන් මේක ස්ටාර්ට් වෙන්න පොගේ අපිට ඇඩ්වර්ටයිස් කරන්න. ඒක නිසා මිස් දැන් යාසියාසි කිමකන්නේ කොහොමසේ අපිට දැන් ආයෙත් ප්‍රොසෙස් එක තායිචාර්ජ් ප්‍රොසෙස් එක පිළිගන්න කරාගෙන ඕ ඒකට ආයෙත් මේ කෝඩින් ටස් එක ගන්නවා ආයෙත් තායිචාර්ජ් එක ඉවරයක් නෑ එතකොට ඉතින් අපි යාක වචන ගන්න වෙනවා ඕ කරගන්න පුළුවන් ඒකට වාකින් ගන්න වෙනවා යා ෆයිනල් කියලා මේ යම්සේ හැකියාව කරලා තියෙන ක්‍රිටිකල් වෙනවා. හැබැයි මේ විදිහට නම් එහෙම නම් ක්‍රිටිකල් වෙලා නෑ. එයා ඉතින් ඒක වෙන කතාවක් දැනක වාම් ෆයිනල් කෙලෙන්න පිට මෙසේ පිට අනිත් එක වෙරිෆයි කරන්න පත්තරේ මේක තමයි අපේ එක දාන්න මම ඉන්සර්ට් එක කරන ස්පන්දන කතාව ඒකෝගේ ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි මිනිසුන්ට මතක නැහැ නම් කියනවා එදාම දාලිතා මෙසේ යා කියලා තියෙන්නේ අනිත් විතර කන්ට්‍රඩික්ට් සාකච්ඡා වුණේ කියපුවා අයිත් කන්ට්‍රඩික්ට් වෙනවා ඊට පස්සේ ආකමක් නැහැ කියලා කියනවා ඊට පස්සේ ඊට පස්සේ මම එකට තමයි ඉතින් එක තියෙන්නේ මේ සියා කන්ෆියුස් වෙනවා. සියා මිස්ටේක්ස්. ඉතින් සියා මිස්ටේක්ස් මේක මිස්ටේක්ස් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි යාට කන්ෆියුස්. නෑ එදා මීටින් එකේ ඇවිල්ලා ඊට පස්සේ සියා මිස්ටර් ආයි ප්‍රශ්නයක් එතකොට ගෙදර එනවා මිසර මේ වාගල දාලා මේ කොමියුනිකේෂන් ඩිනර් එකක් තියුණා ඒක කෑවිත් නේ පැතර හැරිලා එයාට එද්දි මේ ප්‍රියාන්සේ ඉතින් එක ඉවර වෙනකොට මොකද ඒක චොයිස් වලේ ගිහිල්ලා ළමයිට ක්‍රිකට් කරලා කන්නේ එනකොට එතකොට සියාරිස් මට කතා කරලා ඉතින් ඉවර චොයිස් තමයි තාම ගෙදරින් කියලා එතකොට සිංහල විත්ලා බබාගේ මේක කරලා ටිකක් බලලා ඉවර වෙද්දි අර මාරේ තමයි ඊට පස්සේ රියාන් ස්කූල් එක මාරේ Again, all of them is either and then Mr. Benedict and they could form maybe like the next degree but pop up here out the declared. And I think you could attend here. अंकेकट SLPO5 is Mr. SLPO5 का लगना ओके लेके ऐसा नहीं करने हैं और फिर යාගේ ස්ප්‍රින්ග් එකවල කවලා තියෙනවා ඩිග්‍රී එකක් විතර ඩිප්ලෝමා එකක් කරනවා ඊට පස්සේ ඒක නිසා අවුරුදු 4ක් යන මේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක. ඔය මේ අනිත් තැනට টොප් අප් කියාගන්නේව නෙවෙයි. අනිත් තැන ඉන්නේ මාසයක් ඩිප්ලෝමා එක කරලා තව මාසයක් මේ ඩිග්‍රී එක කරලා කියලා টොප් අප් කරලා දෙනවා. එහෙම එකක් නෙවෙයි මේ. මේ ෆුල් එක්ස්ටර්නල් ඩිග්‍රී. ඒක ක්වොලිෆිකේෂන් කරන්නේ. ඒක টොප් අප් වෙන්න කියන්නේ. ඒක ඩෙෆිනිෂන් එක කියලා මම කියන්නේ ඊට පස්සේ තමයි ආසෙට් ඒකේ විදිහට යන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ සම්සමාසයේ කතා කරන ෆීචර්ස් වල පස්සේ අන්තිමට ඒවා වෙනස් කරා. ඒක ඉතින් මම දැනගත්තු වෙච්ච දෙයක්. නමුත් ඒක negotiations වලට ගියාද කියන එක බෑ දැන්. ආයිත් ඕක මිසවන්න කියලා. අපිට මේක කරන්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ. දාලා මේ ප්‍රොසෙසර් එක තියන්න මේ ටීම්සට දාලා මේ ටයිම් ඉවරයි නැත්නම් මේක දැන් තව අනිත් ජනක ඉවල තියෙන ෆයිනල් කියලා තමයි. ඔව් ඒක නේ. ප්‍රශය කරේ. එතකොට කියන්නේ දැන් ඒතකොට ප්‍රශය කරනවා කියනවා. ස්ක්‍රීන් දුන්නේ ස්ක්‍රීන් සම්මත දැන් ඉවාඩ් දැන් අපිට දැන් අදවත් පිටවත් කියන්නේ යා කිව්වේ ඒතකොට අඟහරුවට කතා කරේ. මේ සවුන්ඩ් එක කතා කරේ අඟහරුවට ආවේ නැත්නම් ඔව් අඟහරුවට ආවේ නැත්නම් බෑක් වෙච්ච. අතේ මම ෆුල්ම දැම්ම ප්‍රෙෂර් එක ඊට පස්සේ ගෙන්න ගත්තා. ඉතින් යා වාසියම ගන්න වෙනවා. වැරද්දක් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් යා උත්තර දෙන්න මේ උදාන කොම්බිනේටර් දාන ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇඩ්වර්ටයිස් කරගන්න බෑ. අපිට දැන් ළමයට කියන්න බෑ HND අවුරුද්දයි කියන කතාව මේ පිටරලමට එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් අපිට කිසි දෙයක් කියන්න දෙයක් නෑ. ළමයි අහන නිසා අපි දැඩි අපහසුතාවයකට පත් වෙනවා. විතර නෙවෙයි අනිත් කෝඩිනේටර් සියලු ඒකම බලන්න. Tapi katanya okay, students. Okay, Infas is there online. Infas, you can hear us, no? Okay, hope you can hear us. Okay. Right. Great. Thank you, Buddha. Right. Students, welcome back. So we will see with our other analysis. Today we are studying how can we perform an environmental analysis. So far, what were the tools we used to perform an environmental analysis? What analysis we use to see particularly the micro environmental factors? They don't really start. Special factors, right? We understood the macro. Now again, there's another tool called 4+5 versus model. That's also to see the market competitiveness, industry competitiveness. We use that. So this is the Porter's 5 forces model, as you all are aware of. Are you aware of this model? Right. And okay.
Right, we will sign.
Yeah. Yes, but I don't get that.
Right. The five forces model has five forces. But can you see five forces? For the pathway, what other activity? Are there five forces for the force? What are the number? What are the drop? There are five forces. Very good. He gave the most appropriate class. There's the fixed force. Is it? So you can see there are five forces. What are the forces? Set of new entrants, bargaining power of buyers, set of substitutes, and bargaining power of suppliers. So you can see there are five forces. Now, so what do you mean by set of new entrants to the industry? There will be new entrants who are coming. That will increase what? The competition. It will increase the competition. If new entrants are coming, that means new players, more players. Right. Then bargaining power of buyers. Yes, the customers have bargaining power. They have a higher bargaining power. Then again, the competitors will be higher. Then bargaining power of substitutes. Set of substitutes. There are more and more substitutes. Then the industry competitors increases. Then finally, bargaining power of suppliers who are supplying items, raw materials, etc., services, etc. It will increase. If they have more bargaining power, that will increase the industry competitors. Then inside, the fifth force is what? Rivalry for existing shop. Existing guys are there, and the rivalry might be there. And if there's more and more existing competitors, it will increase the company. Now what you need to do is apply Porter's five forces model to SAP. So right, apply Porter's five forces model to SAP. Apply Porter's five forces model to SAP. Okay, go to ChatGPT and put the same question. So they can once again, start finding the ChatGPT go. The lecturer gets so take 5 minutes. I'll give you 5 minutes and apply and consider what are the factors are. Right? I'll give you 5 minutes. Right. Done. So we'll ask one by one to tell us about what are the hypotheses on. Right. We'll start with the first one. It is threat of new entrants. That's whatever it is, threat of new entrants. Yeah, that is taken up because for the examination purposes, remember that these will be tested. You'll be asked to apply these things at the examination for the examination purposes. Porter's five-process model. Right. Okay, please take it. The potential examination questions apply. Porter's five-process model. Sir. Okay. Enough time. And I think can take down 2 or 3 points and propose on the five points. Right. Right, we start from the you tell us now we shall start with breadth of new entries. Now we have to rank the 5 poles whether it's moderate, low or high. And now whether if it is high, that is just high threat. Right? A high threat of new entry. Fine. Moderate means yes, it's in the middle. Low means there is no threat and the interface has no issue. Right? So what do you think? In terms of entry of new entry. Now, first of all, what are the new entrants that to come to SAP? Or to the environment of SAP where we are competing for new entrants? New universities, new campuses, international, national, or private, public, even public private partnership universities also in competition. Those are new entrants. Right. Now, what do you think about SAP? Right. Now, this is new entrants here in the university, campus. Now, let's say, for example, your kids sort of they start for an educational university, and start the university offering accounting degree programs. That's what new entrant. New entrant doesn't mean students. New entrant means new players in the market. New education institutes that offer accounting, finance degree. Those are new. But high barriers. Is it there's high barriers for it? It's like what? These barriers could be one. Yes, there should be, of course, anyone could enter the market, but they should have what? Good reputation. If they don't have good reputation, you cannot. It's no point, no one will go there. Then, and also investment very high. Can you just start with the program from there? No, it requires big investment, advertisement, awareness campaigns, as well as what? Capital investment like digital infrastructure, etc. Right? Okay. So, how would you rank? The threat of the high, low, or moderate? But on the other hand, is there a legal barrier to enter into the market? Legal barrier there? No. Earlier there was. You cannot start private education in Sri Lanka about 10 years ago. But fortunately, the government changed. They liberalized the educational policies. And that's why it's established. Was it third? What is thank you for this question. That of tremendous moderate. I also believe it's moderate. It's not high, it's not low, it's moderate. As you told, entry barriers are there. You need big investment to start an institution that offers big people. Approval of UGC has to be taken. Right? They give the approval, they say that they don't need to give the approval, they give the approval, but under strict control. Right? So those are that of. So we can usually what is barriers to entry. Yes, there is a capital barrier as well as there is a brand and marketing barrier as well. Because it requires huge investment, economies of scale, brand loyalty, capital requirements, cumulative experience, government policies. Fortunately, the government policies are conducive. Government policies are conducive towards private education in Sri Lanka. Then access to distribution channels, switching costs. For you, there is no. Under that, now let's come into bargaining power of buyers. What is the bargaining power of buyers? Well, buyers of that you. What's your bargain? Affordability is there. And what do you think? Bargaining power is high, low, or moderate? Moderate again, yes, right? Earlier it was a bit low, but now it's moderate, right? Because the customers, now we have a lot of avenues that you can express your views. Now there's a suggestion box, and you can directly speak to the vice president or the CEO, which they immediately answer. So that day when I was in the board meeting, suddenly a call was coming from someone, and the call came to the vice president of CSC. With the vice president of CSC, he said, we have to proceed. So he's the chairman of the board of study here. So I was there, and then they were, and then we did a good report. And this is these for mistake. The same student had spoken. And immediately the problem was, because it could not be resolved somewhere else, which was there. But taking another similar, one of the questions here on the exam, one of the other internet, there was president that called the killer. Yeah, with your, you know, how protect here aspect. No, you have to say, always follow the highlight. First of all, you will the year appropriate. If that is not resolved there, then go to the other. Right? Then, Mangal Mokta Prashya, the Islam comes here, let's say, and then in the Dhan. Because Islam is the what is responsibility. How many answers to, you know, they go to the next one. You go to the board. Yes, the traffic coding, you have every part. Who is the every part? This answer game. This answer, which answer one day in go to the register. Register. Tell the registrar for the register. Is a problem. If the register is not going to listen to the party, yes, they have to go to the director. Thought nahi later. Nobody got to get a shot. They don't go they go to the higher. That means the vice president of Srilanka is directly responsible for that. Likewise, the parent. One of the questions is directly on Patakan for president. Some of them and the Patakan. It's not the thing to call the all the time. It's called him of president, and he has got up to the next year. Over that, so you have to always follow the project. How can you jump up? How can legally counsel of president? Let's call Donald Trump. From the apartment. From calling a cookie the apartment. You have to always follow the higher. That's the proper way. That's the higher thing. And some students they don't understand. They are proper, they directed me to minister. Minister has to become a topic. Sometimes they refer to the problem to the vice chancellor. Without following her. The vice chancellor again sends us to us. I teach our teaching that I create data, if you want to get that. Because no, I could say. So therefore, always speak the hierarchy, right? Follow the hierarchy, it's going to be the problem. That's what we teach in code of ethics. You read the code of ethics for government accountants, right? That's been laid out very clear to follow the hierarchy. All right. We are professionals, so therefore we have to follow. Okay, bargaining power of bias. I think it's moderate. I will say, of course, and you can make requests. It's not low, but too high as well. So you can interact, you can make requests. So that's bargaining power of bias. Now here we don't have typical customers, students or something, right? So number of customers, of course, we have a very good number. Size of each customer order, okay, order we can say modest in terms of the same degree, like this. Then rate of substitute products. Then other things, what are the rate of substitute products? There are alternative qualifications indeed, and there are alternative accounting degree, accounting finance degree programs as well. Not all degree programs are substitutes. Our main substitutes are accounting and finance degree programs upon the university and campus. Do we have that? Yes. I think that of substitutes is very high. Then how can CH Srilanka, SAB of CH Srilanka address that issue by default? Being unique. You are unique, you will have direct competitors? No. That's what as employer, as future employees, that's what you will think. What's unique in yourself? Then there are no that comes up. If not, if you go to an interview, now if you go to an interview like WNS, IFS or somewhere, if you just apply for them, how many applicants come? 20, 30, 40 applicants are there. Graduates. How can you ensure that you get the job option? By being. Because if all get accounting degrees, then there is no difference. You are like good. If you are what? You are unique. If you are unique and you can add value. How you can get that? Of course, by taking these kind of degree programs, unique degree programs, as well as having a drive to study. But importance of feedback. Importance of feedback. In Udemy and other kind of other platforms are there, online platforms are there, you can study by yourself. $10. You can study entirely about data science, R programs, and you and I am taking some courses on areas that I am fine. Even once I took a course on meditation, $10. He was teaching meditation. Likewise, for different aspects, we can take courses and but enlighten be unique. Then you can tell, yes, I know all these things and I can contribute in this manner. Right? Now employers require not only accounting finance, people who know only accounting and finance, they require who? Multidisciplinary skills. In digital business strategy, etc. Program. Okay. So yes, set of substitute products. What do you think? We'll ask another student. What do you think about CSP substitute? Professional certifications are yes, qualifications are there. And we have direct substitutes as well as indirect substitutes as some people person. For me, CA, the professional qualifications are not a substitute, but some people even take that substitute. The person can substitute, which is not exactly correct. Right. So again, I would say that is threat of substitutes are quite high. Not no moderate, it's quite high. We have to be very mindful to provide a tailored product that suits the future employees. Then bargaining power of suppliers is our common end. Bargaining power of suppliers. What suppliers have to be determined how to what suppliers? Excellent. Visiting sector, particularly visiting market, by lead, we are going to almost. Right. What do you think they are bargaining? Technology providers are there. Another set of suppliers and others maybe providing this station analytics are also suppliers and furniture and other things are made that also suppliers and sanitation services that also suppliers. What do you think about the bargaining power of suppliers? We ask everybody. So, what do you think? It's a partner. What do you think? They are bargaining power higher or very high. I will like it. We put it up. And I watch. But we never do it because we don't want to abandon it. Only one side. Okay. I could remember long back when we were doing in 2010 that incident, unfortunate incident happened. Right. So I told exposed almost the 30th lecture, 50th lectures are there, the 30th lecture, and I faced a bad experience in a class, and I told I'm going to teach you goodbye.
That was the last thing that I taught.
That was the last thing I told, and I left. Then at that time, the director, now the director, at that time, they were the director, and he called me and he told, Prasad, what can you help us? I told them, you know what these students did? A funny thing, but again, don't get things. So those days we are teaching using teams. In teams, if you are a kind of you have the right to put out another person from the team. Yes, you can do it. Right? Being a part, but you have to have a little bit more rights for that. And at SAP, the rights are given all to the students, as well as the lecturer. And one time, what was doing was, he was putting me out of the class continuously. I thought it was a technical issue, but then I understood someone is doing it. Then I kindly don't stop that. But he did not stop. He understood who that was. And I was not worried at all. But again, I don't stop it, but again, he did that. Then I told him, this is the last time I'm going to teach you. And I'm no longer going to teach. Unless that person comes and apologizes. But that person unfortunately did not have the backboard on the net, or on the top. To come and apologize. I told them there won't be but sequences. But you have to admit to it. We knew who was that. There was one guy who did that. But I wanted him to come and speak to me. But he did that. I gave him 1 week to do that. And then I told next day, the class I'm no longer able to take the teacher. Goodbye. I informed the director and I told him, good luck. Then he was very worried that he thought that is the last lecture I'm going to do for the essay. How will it stop? I don't know, not this class. Other lectures I'll continue, but not this class. First, the students will require to have the discipline and then to have the backbone to come and admit their errors. If not producing these kind of graduates, I don't think it's proper. We are doing a disservice to the society. But that was the last lecture for that. I did not set the paper, I did not mark the papers, and it was good. So bargaining power of suppliers is quite high. So that's fine. So you can see how big the final rivalry not existing after. Existing rivalry very high. Because we have lot of money that point is quite similar. But and so again, rivalry among existing competitors are very high. Right. So what's the solution for SAP? What's the solution? My main solution is to change the strategy. Of course, they are changing that strategy. To do what? To provide a unique product. To provide a unique product would be the best strategy to attack this problem. Then there's no, if you are unique, there's no company. If I'm unique, do I have competitors? No direct, at least no direct also. So be unique. Be a unique professional. Be a unique professional having a set of unique skills. That's the only way that you can survive, let alone be successful. That's the only way to survive in the future job market. Future job market is survival. Success is everything. Success is everything. Let's keep success aside. If you want to survive and also prosper, then you have to have a unique set of skills that will outperform. Not you'll be another graduate added to the job market. Would you want to be that? Would you want just to be another graduate that will not come down? So therefore, you should have a personal drive to increase your skills. Now, what are the skills at the moment? I showed you, right, the job market report. The job market report, what it says is, the future job reports, the world is going for because you need AI, data related skills, data science related, data analytics skills. So how can you get that? There is enough platforms like online platforms like Udemy, which are recorded lectures. At your leisure, you can watch those videos. You don't need to attend lecture. You can just subscribe and you can watch that. There are about 20 videos, sometimes 10 videos, one by one you can watch. In your leisure time. Your leisure time, you can. That's what I'm doing. Even at the moment, I'm following course. I'm upgrading my skills. And ChatGPT is a great tool to learn new things as well, new skills. And you can see I'm speaking with my phone. ChatGPT. Likewise, you can upgrade yourself. That's the only way that you can survive the future job. If not, you'll be another graduate, could be receiving a meager salary or a compensation that you can just survive on and more. But you have great potential. That's why you are here. So it's your right that just you take these skills that we are talking to, take these advices that we are taking to you, and then go to platforms like Udemy and other things. It's about $10, maximum $20 sometimes. Expensive courses are there, but some popular courses are very much discounted. You can learn almost any skill. If you want to know about photography, it's complete out of this, but you can learn that type. Photography courses, data science courses are. Even how to use ChatGPT properly courses are. People are now using it for different other roles. ChatGPT properly. Like there are massive amount of knowledge there. YouTube there is there. Free of it. It's a matter of just going and looking at it. So it's up to you. Not you don't know what to happen. Okay, so that's the 5 forces model applied to SAP. So overall, what can you then? What it says is the overall industry competitiveness. So per Porter's 5 forces model says the market competitiveness, overall competitiveness. How would you rank in terms of that? The main factors found below. If you look at all these 5 factors, what should be the overall competitiveness? High, moderate, or low? Right, what? I think it's moderate. We are in moderate to high. Right? Between moderate to high competitive environment. Not high, but in between moderate and high. So unless we make strategies, right? Myself, they survival quickly might get it. But they are taking steps even at the moment to give you a level decrease, and industry partnerships, etc. That's unique to SAP. Right. Hope that's clear. So once you get to know something, apply that. Right? Is knowledge power? Danu Bale. Is knowledge power? I would say knowledge is half power. Danu Arda Bale. Knowledge is half power. Why? Knowledge becomes power with application. Knowledge with application is the true power. Because I have seen people having a lot of knowledge, but they don't apply that in their lives for it. They don't contribute to the society, they don't contribute to their. They have all the knowledge, but they are unable to apply that in their lives. Right. Now let's discuss 3 important concepts. Right. Write down. First concept, disintimidation.
disintermediation. Yeah, disintermediation. Then reintermediation. Disintermediation, paling tersedia. Disintermediation, that's number one. Number two, reintermediation. Disintermediation, that's number one. Reintermediation, that's number two. Reintermediation. And number three is in the other slide. Here, disintermediation, reintermediation. The third one is known as countermediation. Countermediation. I'm going to teach you one by one and tell that in a digital business how you can use it. Disintermediation, reintermediation, and countermediation. Countermediation. And with this, we'll finish, huh? Right. Also, then not finish not from the next. I take quickly one. Disintermediation means, right? For exam, it's a very important concept. Okay. Now look at this situation. Usually, what happens is the manufacturer manufactures a product and gives that to a wholesaler. Wholesaler sells that to a retailer, and retailer sells that to the customer. Right? This is the usual process. Now let's take vegetables. Vegetables. Now, are we directly getting the item from rural area? Producers, farmers, and we get it from retail. So what usually happens is those are bought in bulk by wholesalers, even some intermediaries, and then you have the retailers, they pops in and other kind of data, and then you buy from. So you can see there's a wrong problem. Now these are called intermediaries. Producer to the consumer, you have wholesaler and retailer. These are called intermediaries. Intermediaries who are in the middle. Intermediaries, people who are in the middle. Who are the people involved? Retailers and wholesalers and retailers. Then what the customers or what the farmers did was they thought of these wholesalers are making more money. Now what they are doing is they are directly selling them to retailers, and they cut off the wholesaler. Wholesaler cut them. That's disintermediation. You remove it. Then later on, farmers started directly selling to their customer, which never happened in Sri Lanka. But I'll give a very good example when it comes to data. Dell computers earlier sold their computers through wholesalers, retailers, and only e-commerce. Now you can directly buy from their website. So they removed it. That's called what? Disintermediation. You remove it. Disintermediation means you remove Dell.com or Dell Corporation is a very good example for that. They are removed, of course, if they are there, but of course you can directly buy from them. Even the farmers, and if you have a good logistical arrangement, even we can directly buy from the farmers as well. If they have chips, we can directly order. But it's not possible because of the market we have. And buy it, take the goods. Even the government tried to disintermediate and remove the wholesalers and intermediaries. So I could remember, Minister Bandhu or someone at that time, who was the minister in charge. What he did was he made a special train service from Moravian to what? Better. Directly to transport the vegetable produce to better. Very far. No intermediaries. Because why? Intermediaries are making massive money. They buy for a very small amount from the farmers, and then they sell to the retailers, wholesalers and retailers at a massive amount. Who is making money? Not the farmers, not the customers. Intermediaries are so disintegrated. So to disintegrate,
the government arranged special train from Novarelli to Peta. What happened to that train? Was one of the first made in Germany. That was it. Following our correct, correct? Because the mistake, I thought, right? Why? What happened? I don't need to say what happened. Maybe I don't have any evidence. Maybe the minister was compensated by some. They continue. So you can see what happens, right? So that's disintermediation. But they'll disintermediate, they removed wholesalers, retailers, and now they direct the sale from their that's what disease. Then comes removal of the intermediates. And in digital business, you can do it very easy. Then comes re-intimidation. Re-intimidation. Re-intimidation means you bring a new intermediate. Than a traditional one, you bring a new intermediate. Traditional intermediate converter. I don't take re-intimidation. Example. Earlier maybe you did traditional marketing. Your company engaged in traditional marketing. Engage traditional marketing. It's like what? Newspapers, television. But now, other companies using those. They use now new intermediaries like what? Facebook. Facebook farm. And other digital marketing platforms. Rather than traditional intermediaries, now they are using innovative intermediaries, new intermediaries. That's called re-intimidation. Example, rather than newspaper marketing, you now use Facebook marketing. WhatsApp marketing, whatever marketing platforms are. So that's called what? Re-intimidation. Disintermediation means complete removal of intermediaries. Re-intimidation means you bring new type of intermediaries. New type of intermediaries. Then finally, with that we'll finish, right? Countermediation. Countermediation also means you bring a new intermediate. Intermediate can buy, but it's of your own subsidiary. You establish a new subsidiary as an intermediate. Now, re-intermediation means you are using a third party for your service. Now, let's say my company is selling something, let's say books. I have a company that sells books. Earlier I advertised in traditional newspapers, now I am using Facebook. Is Facebook my company? My subsidiary? No. It's a third party. But on the other hand, my company established an SPE, another subsidiary for sales. Then that's for what? Founders mediation. Rather than using a separate third party, you are using your own subsidiary as an intermediate called founder mediation. So these three things and made possible because of digital business strategy. Number one is what? Is that we finish? Number one, disintermediation. Disintermediation is what? Removal of existing intermediaries. Like removal of wholesalers and retailers by date. They now direct the sales, its items, its computers to the customer through its website. That's called what? Disintermediation. Then countermediation. Then re-intermediation. We go countermediation. Re-intermediation is what? You employ, you bring new type of intermediate, not the old traditional one. Now, when I want to advertise, I am no longer using what? TV advertisements. I am no longer using what? Printed newspaper. I am using what? Digital level. Facebook for my advertising. Facebook as my advertising partner. That's what called re-intimidation. Re-intimidation. There's a third type is countermediation. Countermediation is what? Countermediation is what? Countermediation is what? You establish your own subsidiary to do some work that an intermediary did earlier. Now earlier I had to advertise to a third party, But now I establish my own subsidiary by preference. That's called what? Counter bidding. So these three are three things. What are three things? Disintimidation, re-intimidation, and counter. But again, I'm emphasizing again and again, why? Is a potential examination issue. Differentiate demand, disintimidation, re-intimidation, and counter-intimidation. Potential examination situation. So this subject is not difficult because why? I'm telling the important name. If I ask you to read the book, it's about 900 pages. But yeah, I'm teaching you, and what's my examination philosophy? It's very simple. What's that? What I teach is what I test. Fair enough? And also what I teach and what I improvise is the class. So if you look at past papers, all these are there. Right. I think with that we can safely call it a day. Any questions? Do you understand what we are discussing? This is digital business strategy. And not only you have to apply this to businesses, apply this to your own life. I'm giving some life advice to my experience of past maybe 25 years. Right? So think about the future, upskill yourself, not be able to, you will be unable to survive in this competitive market. With seeking research, you the potential competition. Don't think like that, but again, you have to motivate yourself. In 10 years' time, we have to speak. All depends on the actions you take now. Okay, with that, thank you very much. We'll meet next week. Okay, with the exam. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, online students, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Putra. Thank you very much. So we are going to end the class today. Thank you. And you can stop the video. Appreciated of your attendance, and we'll meet next week, Putra. Thank you.